To the death of Queen Elizabeth II. I'm joined live now by Cary Harrison, a journalist and producer of the podcast, CaryHarrison.com. Welcome to RT International, Cary.
It's good to see you, Peter.
It's good to have you here. First of all, what would you say has been the reaction to the Queen's death across the pond, as it were? Obviously, former US President Barack Obama did speak very fondly of her.
Well, I think everyone in the United States speaks fondly of her, as long as we don't actually have to supplicate before a king or a queen in any other country, anywhere else in the world. We could be fans at an arm's length. We do not forget our revolution. We do not forget what it was like to be under an oppressive mantle, at least at the time under George III. But it's been very chummy with Queen Elizabeth. Indeed, we had Bretton Woods in 1944, which basically turned the British Empire over to the United States to have the world's military joy, and the British would handle the financial end of it. So it's been really a lovely marriage ever since.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's obviously quite a part of the British identity, having reigned Britain for more than 70 years. Do you think that Charles will create the same impression during state visits?
Now known as King Charles III.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I stand corrected.
Well, I met him accidentally a few years ago. Google Maps does not list where he lived off of the green next to the Athenaeum there. And so I am skirting back to my hotel, and I crunch across the gravel, and I walk up the lawn, and there's a guy leaning over the door of an open Jaguar, and it's Prince Charles. And I had walked by the guard, and he said, "Well, hello." And I said, "Oh my God." And Camilla was there, and the guards came and grabbed me and took me away. And I thought the only thing clever I could say is, "Well, I'm American," which would explain how I got there and why I had clod-hopped. Nice guy. Not considered the world's rock star in mental acuity. However, we do like the fact that he's into climate change. We like the fact he doesn't deny it. We like the fact that he seems to be a relatively stand-up guy. So more will be revealed. We know the Queen was not the biggest fan of his performance, given Lady Di and love affairs with Camilla, who is now going to be the consort queen. Probably a little early to tell still.
Mm-hmm. I think security will certainly be bumped up now he's king. Talking about the royal family in general, Cary, from an American point of view, what role do you think they have to play in world affairs anymore? Are they still relevant now?
Well, as a figurehead relevant, it's hard to know what really goes on behind the scenes, how much pressure is applied, but I imagine a lot. You have to really push the public and do a lot of great propaganda to get people to cough up billions and billions. You can live in multiple palaces and basically do nothing all day. Maybe pet a horse, take a walk, get a facial. You know, I want to have that life too, but it's really hard for me to get the American public to sign on to that, much like an American president. As soon as they start bragging about their stuff and cash and prizes, you know, we get turned off.
Well, staying with that topic, Cary, there was some talk, some rumours a year or two ago in the press of maybe skipping a generation with the monarchy and going straight to Charles' son, William, as he seems to be a little bit more in touch with the times and maybe the Instagram generation. Do you think that would have been maybe a better decision? Obviously, not allowed by the constitution of the monarchy, but hypothetically speaking.
Well, he's obviously very popular. You know, I ran into him in LA several different times. He was feeding the homeless and doing some, you know, remarkable stuff, whether it was from his heart or for some photos. One will never know. It seems like the Queen would just as soon bypass Charles if possible. And if she could jump to her favorite grandson, what a good day we're all having posthumously. He is well loved. Charles is kind of not so interesting to most people. They know about him, but he's been pretty quiet out there way north in the bogs. So we'll see.
We'll certainly have to wait and see. And finally, Cary, I'd just like to get your thoughts on how you think the Queen's death will affect the Commonwealth. Obviously, there is a strong Republican movement in some countries, such as Jamaica, who may have to amend their constitutions to recognise King Charles, because they don't automatically just recognise the head of the British monarchy. What do you think it will affect the Commonwealth?
My sense is a lot of these countries will be disinclined to do that. We saw South Africa pull itself away. We've seen India have its independence and enjoy that particular freedom, even though the British Empire, since Queen Victoria, has gained almost $14 trillion off the back of India. They're not likely to get a refund. Why would I want to be part of that unless I got something even bigger and better than I got before? So that would be the bargaining chip. Does Great Britain even have the chops, the power, the finance, the might to do anything more than it's been minimally doing at this point so far?
Yeah, I think many would argue not anymore, especially with the current domestic issues there. Cary Harrison, journalist and producer of the podcast, CaryHarrison.com. Thank you very much for your take on the death of Queen Elizabeth II.
Thank you.